Welcome to Experiments in Happiness with Michelle Lemus, the podcast for high-achieving women who've checked all the boxes but still feel something's missing.
Welcome back to Experiments in Happiness. I'm your host, Michelle Lemus, and today we're pulling apart a lie that so many of us have been carrying for way too long. The idea that if we're doing life right, we should be happy all the time. You know the version. Always smiling, always grateful, no dips, no doubts, just sunshine and rainbows. And if we're not feeling that, we assume something's wrong with us. Trust me, I've been there. So today we're deconstructing the myth of constant happiness. We're going to talk about where this myth came from, why it's hurting us, what happiness actually looks like, and how to build a relationship with happiness that feels sustainable and human. And of course, we'll do a little mindset experiment along the way. So grab your tea, your coffee, or maybe your morning walk, and let's get into it. Let's start with the obvious question. Where did this idea even come from? Because somewhere along the way, happiness morphed from a feeling into a benchmark. We got the message that happy is correct and not happy means you're broken. And sure, some of this is marketing. We live in a world where every product promises to make us happier. The drink, the shoes, the planner, the protein shake. And hey, I love a good planner. I own more than a few. So no judgment. But it also goes deeper than consumerism. We were raised on songs, movies, and Instagram quotes telling us good vibes only, smile more, choose happiness, which sounds nice, right? I mean, who doesn't want good vibes? But what those phrases don't mention is you're still a whole human with a full emotional range. Even the most joyful people aren't happy all the time. And if they tell you they are, I promise you, they cry in their car like the rest of us. We internalized the belief that happiness is the goal, and if we're not constantly happy, we're failing. But life is not a Hallmark movie. Even those movies have conflict, and that's what makes them interesting. So let's take the pressure down a notch. Here's the truth. Happiness is not a steady state. It's not a finish line you cross and then boom, permanent sparkles. It's more like weather. It comes in waves. It moves with the seasons of your life. It has cycles. You can be happy in the morning, frustrated by noon, calm at 3 p.m., and content again by dinner. And that's not inconsistency, that's being alive. When we expect happiness to always be there, we panic when it shifts. We think, oh no, I'm doing something wrong. Why am I not grateful enough? What did I mess up? But here's the spoiler, nothing. You didn't mess up anything. Happiness needs contrast to have meaning. If you were happy all the time, it would just feel normal and you wouldn't even register it. The reason joy feels good is because it sits next to days that feel are ordinary or heavy or messy. Happiness is a range, not a single note. One of the most liberating ideas I've learned is this: you're allowed to feel more than one thing at a time. You can love someone deeply and be annoyed at them. You can feel grateful for your job and exhausted by it. You can be excited about a dream and terrified of failing. Multiple things can be true. We should get that printed on a t-shirt. I'd wear it. Real happiness includes joy, meaning, peace, rest, neutrality, and yes, discomfort, because discomfort doesn't cancel happiness. It exists alongside it. I think we've been trained to see any negative emotion as a threat, like, oh no, I'm sad, that's dangerous, I need to fix it immediately. But sadness is just information. Frustration is just information. Fear is just information. It doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're paying attention. This is actually where so much growth comes from being willing to sit with the full spectrum instead of trying to numb or outrun it. Okay, let's shift into our weekly practice. I'm calling this one the enoughness experiment. It's simple but powerful. For the next week, instead of asking yourself, am I happy right now? I want you to ask, am I okay enough for this moment? Just enough, not perfect, not glowing, not thriving, just enough. Because so much of our suffering comes from judging our emotional state, not from the emotional state itself. Does this moment feel survivable? Do I have what I need to get through the next step? Am I safe? Am I breathing? That's enough. And here's why this works. When we stop demanding constant happiness, we make space to notice the quieter forms of happiness that already exist in our days. The tiny moments, that first sip of coffee, a warm shower, a hug that lingers, finishing a task, laughing at something stupid, the feeling of clean sheets, the relief of finally sitting down. These are real moments of happiness. They just don't shout, they whisper. And most of us are moving too fast or trying too hard to be happy to notice them. So this week, look for those quiet moments. Let them count, because they do. So let's wrap this up with a new definition. Happiness isn't constant, it's sustainable. Sustainable happiness looks like letting emotions rotate, pausing to notice joy when it shows up, creating tiny rituals that support you, releasing the pressure to perform, letting good enough be enough. It's softer, less demanding. It doesn't require theater. It doesn't require 24/7 positivity. It doesn't require you to pretend. It just invites you to show up as you are. Every version dash dash. And trust that happiness will come and go, just like everything else. So here's the big takeaway. Constant happiness is a myth, and honestly, an exhausting one. You don't need to be happy every moment to have a good life. You just need enough joy, enough peace, enough connection, enough trust that the moment you're in is not the whole story. Happiness is a companion, not a destination. Some days it walks close. Some days it wanders ahead. Some days it's sitting on the porch waiting for you with coffee. It always returns. Just keep going. And if you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, my life looks great on paper, but something still feels off, I want you to know you're not alone. That's literally why I created the Fulfilled Woman Experiment, a course to help you understand that gap and actually feel the confidence and fulfillment you've worked so hard for. Thank you for being here with me today. If this resonated, share the episode with a friend who might need a little reminder that they're not supposed to have it all together. And as always, I'd love to hear your experience with this week's experiment. Send me a DM or tag me on LinkedIn. Until next time, be kind to yourself. You're doing great.
Thanks for listening to Experiments in Happiness. You can find more tools and resources at experimentsinhappiness.com.